How's it going, everybody? Jake coming at you from StratGeeks, ORS Fusion in the house. We're going to do a full solo setup video here today. And the first thing that you should get after you sign up for ORS subscription is this welcome email right here. You're going to get it from Eamon at StratGeeks.com. And it's going to say, we're delighted to have you. Link below, welcome letter. So we're going to go ahead and click on this welcome letter here in a second. But you also have, please become a member on our Discord channel and DM Eamon and also DM myself, Jake Hillman or Jake at ORS. And you can also download ORS Fusion right here. Then you have the templates as well right here. And then you can also schedule a 30 to 60 minute meeting with me to make sure you have everything all set up properly. And you do that right here through the Calendly link. So first, let's go to our Dropbox through our full install process. I'm just going to try to take this video through the steps in this PDF and just go through everything one by one. This might take a half hour or so we'll see what happens. So here's the welcome letter. We're going to minimize that, or not minimize it. We'll just move it over here for a second. So now we don't need this anymore. So the first thing we're going to see is how to get going with NinjaTrader and Apex. So this is really up to you. This is just for people who are brand new to NinjaTrader or Apex or Top Step or however you want to trade using ORS. This is completely up to you. So we're basically just going to skip this part for the video, and we're going to go right to install and getting started with ORS Fusion. So we actually will have the video now. I'm making it right now. So the first thing you want to do is click on the ORS Fusion download link. And that is going to take us, let me just get this drawing tool thing out of the way. That's going to take us to our Dropbox, and we can click download here. Download should start soon, and it should be downloading right now. Or you can download here, or you might even be able to double click on that and then download here. So there's three different ways. If one of them doesn't work, another one will, and we can download there. So where that's going to show up is that's going to show up in your downloads folder, and it's going to show up right here, downloads. I've downloaded a bunch of stuff, but for you it'll show up as the first thing in your downloads folder, ORS 1.7. Let's go back to the welcome letter and go ahead and install ORS Fusion. So on your NinjaTrader, we're going to go to Tools, Import, NinjaScript Add-on. It's going to take a second for this to pop up. And we're going to double click on ORS Fusion. I'm not going to do it because it's already installed here, so double click there, and then you'll have to wait 20-30 seconds or so. Then you'll get a pop-up that says successfully installed. Click OK. So now you have ORS 1.7 installed on your NinjaTrader platform. Now we'll go back to the welcome letter, going down the list here. Actually, we don't need this anymore, so let's just X out all this. So we'll go back to the welcome letter, scrolling down. So, and again, you know, depending on computer security, you're going to have to just make sure it gets downloaded. I'm not going to go through every security process that you might have to fix to make sure that the thing gets downloaded. So anyway, and we're going to go ahead and number 2, download our Fusion Workspace. So we're going to need to go ahead and click on ORS Fusion Workspace. And here's a bunch of code. Download. Click that. You might need to, on your computer, you might need to do a little, an extra step up here. You might have a pop-up that says keep. Go ahead and click the keep. And now that workspace is going to show up here under downloads, ORS Fusion Workspace. So here we go. So we're going to right click. We're going to install the workspace on our NinjaTrader platform. This is a different process than installing ORS Fusion NinjaScript. This is a template. It's a workspace template. So we're going to right click and copy. Now we're going to go to a very specific spot in Documents. So find your Documents folder, find your Ninja 8, double click, scroll down to Workspace, and paste that. Control V or Control V or right click and paste. And then you'll see that this is the file path we needed in this PC, Documents, Ninja 8, Workspaces. You might have a different file path, but you need to get into your current Ninja 8 folder, paste it in Workspace. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we'll go back to, after you do that, it might be wise just at this point, because you need to restart NinjaTrader for the workspace to be recognized. So go ahead and close NinjaTrader down. I'll say yes. And we're going to go ahead and restart. And that should just take a second, and it should pop up with the workspace that you were using before. Then you'll need to go into Workspaces and then choose ORS Master Workspace, whatever it happens to be called when you download it from our template. Sometimes we update things. So you should see two charts, MNQ 3 minute, MNQ 3 minute. This could look slightly different on your machine. If you have a different colored NinjaTrader skin, that's the chart trader background here, the borders and everything, you might want to change your skin to match mine. And to do that, this is not in the welcome letter, but to do that, you would go to Tools, Options, General, Skin. I'm using slate gray. Then you would click Apply, and then it's going to say you have to restart NinjaTrader to change your skin color, and then you would just go ahead and restart NinjaTrader, and then you would get your everything looking exactly like mine. And you know, it's almost a requirement to do that if you want to. If you have the light colored white skin on your NinjaTrader at the moment, you have a certain color palette that you can choose from. Excuse me, as far as background colors. If you have the slate gray skin enabled, you have a different background colors that you can choose from. So some of these colors, if you have a white skin, are not available on the dark skin, on the slate gray skin. So you might want to do that. Let's go back to the welcome letter now. And we just downloaded and installed the workspace. So now let's go to number 3, load ORS Fusion on your chart. So let's go here on the left-hand chart. You might notice that I have this news indicator, and just send me a DM. I can send you the news indicator, and there's also an ORS bar timer, which would be timer right up here. And to install the news indicator and the ORS bar timer, just DM me and I will send you those. Then you simply download them and then go to Tools, Import, NinjaScript Add-on, and then double click on your downloads folder where the indicator for the news is, and then do it again separately for the ORS bar timer. So that's just kind of an extra bonus, definitely not necessary for the strategy. So let's go ahead and load ORS Fusion on our chart. Right click on the chart, Strategies, double click ORS Fusion. That's going to get it to configure down here. I like to think of this as what the menu at the restaurant, but you need to order what you want and it's got to get sent to the table. So now it's configured. Double click, it's configured down here. Then we're going to go ahead and save a default real quick. Template, save as default. Yes. This is going to enable our template that we're going to be downloading in a second to be recognized in a folder that has been just now created by this process under NinjaTrader Documents and in the Strategy Templates folder. We'll go through that now. So then we'll come back and we will OK out of this. We can see that ORS Fusion is now loaded on our chart with this little gray area up here, and we can actually enable as well just to make sure it's working. Oh, I'm not connected. I should connect. You know what? I'm not going to connect right now because we don't need, yeah, it's, oh, maybe we should. And we'll connect. There we go. And now we can right click, go into strategies, choose the account you want it to enable on, but really we just want to make sure it's working, so we'll click enable, and you can click apply or OK in this situation, or you could just click OK. And you can see up here it says calculating. And there we go. Looks like it's working. Yep, that's our trading zone right here. Perfect. Okay, and we can also disable our strategy from our strategy tab here. All right, so now let's go back to the welcome letter. We have downloaded the Workspace. We've downloaded ORS Fusion. Now we need to download the ORS Fusion master template, the one that everybody's using. Well, not everybody, but most people, myself, is probably the one that's included on your welcome letter, unless we've updated things between when you subscribed and when you receive this welcome letter, which is very doubtful since we don't update templates that often. We like to stick with one thing that's working. So, but this is where you download your master MNQ template. Click on this. Right now it's not in there right now. I think Eamon's actually updating that right now. But then you would just download that template. And once that template is downloaded, you're going to come to your downloads folder. It's going to be in your downloads folder. Mine is somewhere over here. I can use any one of those, but just for now, pick the one that is that was just downloaded. So for me right now, I'm going to go ahead and click this template here, and we're going to copy it. We're going to move it to a very particular spot in NinjaTrader Documents. So start with Documents, NinjaTrader 8, Templates. Well, what kind of template is this? This is a strategy template, and it's an ORS Fusion strategy template, and Control V. Of course, you can see I have a million different templates here because I'm working hard for everybody, trying to get the best of the best. So this is where you would paste it, Control V, or right click and paste your template in this PC. Documents, Ninja 8, Templates, Strategy, ORS Fusion. That's your file path, unless you have a different setup here. This is going to be the same for everybody, at least Documents, Ninja, Templates, Strategy, ORS Fusion. So now we can minimize this, minimize that. Come back over to the chart that we have our strategy loaded on, right click, strategies. Come down here to template, load. And then we're going to pick, this is the one we're using right now, 3-minute MNQ Master 826, and load. And it'll be the only template for you. Well, you'll have that and a default. And then we can just double check things here. This is what yours should look like if you are running that same template. So don't worry about this right now. Right now we have our HMA template, the one master template that we're all currently using, loaded into the strategy. So this is going to be the chart that we are trading on. This over here, we're going to go over this in a second. This is going to be our control chart. See how the candles are down there like that? What's up with that? Well, I'll show you how to fix that. That can happen. We're going to right click on this chart on the right. We're going to go to data series, and we're going to tell it to center the price on scale. Okay, that's going to get our chart centered up. Here is what the August bar timer looks like. And also you can see, well, why doesn't this chart have a timer on it? Well, that's because we need to click this arrow and scroll to the most recent time. Obviously, this one also needs to be centered on scale. Right click, data series, center price on scale. Okay. So now we got both charts up. Strategy is indeed loaded on the chart on the left. It is not on the chart on the right. Let's go back to our welcome letter, see what our next step is. So there's the no FOMC exclusion file. This is for if you want to do some back testing and exclude FOMC or PAL days. You can do that, and we can download the CSV text file actually. So we'll double click on that. And then you can click download here. This one is not up to date. It's up to the user to keep this text file up to date as far as all the days that are FOMCs or pal talking that you will not want to include in your backtest. You can tell it to exclude whatever dates you want. The only dates that I exclude for any backtest are FOMC and or pal talking at all during that particular day. So this is that. And then we will go to our downloads folder where that would have just downloaded. And I don't think I actually have it in my downloads folder, but it would appear right here. We would right click on that text file, copy, and then we will move that to documents. And then we will make a brand new folder under documents, call it new folder, and then you could call it ORS exclusion files. Double click on that brand new folder under documents, and then you'd paste it right here. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. So mine is in a different spot. Mine is right here. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go to documents, exclusion files, paste it here. This is what yours will look like. This PC, documents, ORS exclusion files. You just made this folder. This is where it's posted and pasted. We're going to right click on the text file. Right click, go to properties, go to security, copy this object name, the whole file path, the whole thing. Make sure to include the TXT. Right click, copy, OK, minimize that. Now let's go back into our strategy. And we're going to paste this exclusion file path and tell the strategy where to look to exclude those days. Right click, back to our strategy. Now we got to scroll down to CSV, date filter path. So we're going to delete the one that is in here currently. Make sure you delete the whole thing so it's completely blank. Control V or paste that in there. That starts with a C drive, ends with a TXT. So if you wanted to exclude these dates, click this button. Now, looking at that actual text file, let's look at it. This one is indeed up to date by when I'm making this video, 8/23. So if we have another FOMC day or pal talking coming up, I don't know when the next one is, I can't remember. We'll just say it's 9/12/2024. You got to put that in there yourself. It's got to follow this exact same format. Once you do that, then you can just click X and then save yes, and it'll automatically update. So basically what the strategy is doing for its backtest is it's just looking to say, hey, what dates do you want me to exclude? Check this box. It'll exclude them. Then if you do want to run a backtest, you check this backtest box. Then we click enable. Then we click apply. Now, once we've clicked apply, we can't change anything unless we disable and click apply again. Then we can change stuff again. But for right now, we want to check this backtest out. Check, apply, OK. And we can scroll back here and we should see yesterday, which was, let me go ahead and expand this out a little bit. The second chart will make sense in a second. So yesterday was 2 wins and a loss. So that was a good day, actually. Based on the size of the opening range, was quite large yesterday. We started out with a 1 win, then we had a second win, then we finished off with a loss. So we had net 1 wins yesterday. These big opening range days, we don't get as many trades, and they last a long time. Look how long this trade lasted. 3-minute bars. Look at all those 3-minute bars times however many bars that is. 54 3-minute bars. That's how long you had to wait for that trade to complete. I took the first win and went to bed, personally, because I'm in Bali right now, and it was 12 o'clock at night or something when that trade occurred. So we can, we'll just make a little detour off the welcome letter here for a second. These green lines, that is if the trade is a winner. The red line is if the trade is a loss. And this is our high and our low of our opening range. This is our opening range here to here, our high and our low. And there's one target, there's another target, there's the loss. We can click Control E, they will go away. Control E again, they'll come back. Control E again, then it'll plot how many contracts were on each trade. Control E again, then they'll go away. You can also get through there a different way. There's one more other way. You can click Data Series, scroll all the way down to your options, and click Plot Executions. markers only. Okay. So that'll appear on backtest, or if you're trading live, you will also get these green and red dashed lines once your trade is complete. These hash marks over here, these are our deviation level hash marks for backtest. If these deviation levels were drawn out fully all the way across, however many days you're incorporating into this backtest data set, it would gum up your computer. The drawing tools take a lot of memory. So I'm just going to have to sip my beverage here for a second. This is an extensive video. It's a lot. This is why we have about an hour video most of the time with people when they get started. But some people are going to be able to take this video and run with it. So that's cool. I'd still like to meet with you for 15 minutes just to double check everything though. Okay. So that's what these plots are. Live, you'll get these lines will fully extend all the way. So that looks good. All right, let's go back to the welcome letter. We don't need that. Welcome letter. Okay, so that was the exclusion file. And there's your 30-minute, 60-minute meeting with me if you want to click on that, my Calendly. Let's also do the Fib tool. This is something that we really only need to use in backtest. So we'll click on download the extra stuff here. So click on Fib tool. And we'll be able to download both of these. Really, I've only been messing with the ORS lines here. So we can click download. That'll probably download both of them. There they are. And remember, certain computers, you got to click keep up here. Mine you don't, but sometimes there'll be a little pop-up that says keep. So keep those. Then we'll go to our downloads folder where those are now downloaded. And they're going to be here in Fib tools. And then you'll see them there. Now, this can be a little bit tricky if you've never used a Fib tool on your NinjaTrader platform since you've installed it. You're going to need to go ahead and draw a Fib tool anywhere on your chart. So you can click F8. Oh yeah, well for you it's going to be F8. For me it's Control F because I have different hotkeys. Right now the Fib tool actually comes up for me, but what you're going to see is you're going to see regular Fibs. This is what you're going to see. You'll see, oh, looks like I don't even have regular Fibs on there anymore. Anyway, you'll see regular Fibs with 61.8, 21, 38, that kind of stuff. But once you see that regular Fib pop up, go ahead and click. So once you see the regular Fib pop up, it's not going to look like this. Click on the anchor, right click, go to properties. This is very important. Go to template, save as default, and then click yes. Now the system will recognize what we're about to do, which is put this particular template in the drawing tools folder. So we'll go back to that downloaded file that we have. We're going to right click on SD lines. Sorry, left click, right click, copy. We're going to move these to a very particular spot as well. In documents, that's where we start everything. Ninja 8, all the same. Templates, it's a drawing tool template. Oh look, there's drawing tool. Drawing tool, Fibonacci retracements, and Control V. And there you can see I already have it pasted rather, ORS SD lines. Then you'd come back, and now remember yours is going to look like a regular Fib right now. So you would left click on the anchor. So you get these dots to appear here. Dots. Right click, properties, template, load. Click ORS SD lines. Load that up. Click OK. And then you'll have these SD lines. And the only reason we need these, range levels, whatever you want to call them, is just for the back test, just so we can see how things worked out. All you do is just plot from the high of the opening range there. I'm not going to get this exact. And then to the bottom of the opening range, right about here. That's pretty close. And then we can see how these trades lined up with our deviation lines. You can see we have a profit target of 2 deviations. And our stop is also 2 deviations. There is a 2 deviation stop. It's the same. It's a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, as we can see. Bam, bam. So because we had 2 wins and 1 loss, that means we have 1 net win. Slightly positive risk-reward ratio. I think we're done with the welcome letter now. Let's double check it. Yep, make sure you join our Discord group if you have not already. If you have questions about the strategy, DM me. Jake Hillman, HILLMAN is my handle, not Jake HLLLMAN. Sometimes there's scammers that show up and try to mess with people. There's no stopping it. It's just something we got to deal with. But make sure it's JakeHillman. Jake at ORS. They'll use my same picture. They'll try to get you to, anyway. Make sure it's Jake Hillman, HILLMAN, and you can DM me that way. If you have questions about, this is very important, if you have questions about billing or licensing or anything like that, don't bother DMing me because I don't know. Eamon won't let me do that job. I'm doing enough. So he's making sure that he's doing all that stuff. So you just DM Ayman, AYMANM70, and that's at Discord. Or you can email him at Ayman@StratGeeks.com. And I think that's it. Yeah, trade well and prosper. Okay, so that pretty much does it for our install. And let's see, 26 minutes. I almost feel like just making this one full comprehensive video, I think. Yeah, so, okay. So that does it for our install. Now let's try to figure out, well, why do I have two charts open? Let's center this price back up on scale again because I tweaked it. Data series, center price on scale, okay. Let's deselect backtest. We do not want backtest checked for when we're trading live. Click enable, that will deselect that enable box. Click apply. Now we can move stuff around, adjust things, and what have you. Click OK. So let's go ahead and delete this drawing tool. For now, we don't want to see that. Okay. And over here, let's go ahead and load up ORS 1.7 on the chart on the right. Doing the same exact thing. Strategies. Double click to configure. I gotta move this drawing tool thing. And we're gonna go to template, load, and you're only gonna have one template, and it's gonna be, at least by the time I'm making this video, it's gonna be this template. Excuse me, load, enable, okay. And we'll make sure that's working. It is. We barely have to use the ADX anymore, so I just tend to minimize that right down. And let's go ahead and enable the strategy over here as well. Actually, I'm going to enable it in backtest mode over here so I can kind of show you folks what we're doing here. Okay, so, okay, hold on. So the chart on the left, this is going to be, let's say we have one Apex eval or PA account or whatever. So the chart on the left you can use for that. So we can right click, go to strategies, and this drop down menu right here, you could click, you could drop it down and select PA number 1, click OK, and then you use this drop down arrow here to select that same exact account, PA number 1. You need this chart trader account to match what account you have listed here under the strategies setting. Otherwise, you won't see the trades as they're firing off. So over here we have PA account number 1, live, actual, real trades. Over here on the right, we'll have another strategy going, the same exact one, but this one actually will be Sim 101 and Sim 101. So this way, if you end up moving a stop loss or doing anything over here on your actual account, if you move a stop loss to break even, say, or if you extend a target, or if you take the trade off the table early in any way, you'll still know with the control chart on the right that you're never going to touch. You'll still know if you're in sync with everybody else. Because if not, then you might be off the table over here and completely out of sync. You might just enter another trade. So let's see what that would look like if you did that. So we'll go to strategies and we'll click enable and OK. Let's minimize down the ADX. And we can see right here, let's go ahead and get this global drawing tool so we can get synced up here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So this is a really good example, actually. This super long, crazy trade from last night. This trade entered here and didn't complete till all the way over here. So if you took this trade off the table early, say you entered here and you closed it here, so that would be halfway to target. Well then, if you have all this time from when you close the trade here till this trade actually closed here, where you would be taking extra trades. So if you're going to close a trade early for any reason, make sure you turn the strategy off until your control account, this account over here. So let's get this to apply to both charts. So you got this whole window here that everybody else is still in this trade, but you took the trade off early here. Well, then turn the strategy off. Don't disable it. Just turn the strategy off here with this little green button, and only turn your PA account back on until after this trade completes, which would be like, come on, computer. There we go. Let's enable this on both charts. Okay. So once this trade completes live, then yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, turn back on. Then you're going to be in sync with everybody else. That's totally fine. Let's go through some settings. So this would be your, think about this as a controlled scientific experiment. You know, if you're doing any kind of discretionary stuff with your stop losses or your targets or whatever, absolutely never move your stop loss farther away from its initial placement. That is a big no-no. You might as well just unsubscribe and give me your money that you just are about to lose, because if you move the stop loss farther away from its initial placement one time, you're probably going to do it again and again and again, and you're going to blow up your account. The only thing I recommend is maybe moving to stop to break even, or maybe moving your target a little bit wider and then moving your stop loss to where your target would have been and going for like an extra few ticks or something like that. But absolutely never move your stop loss farther than, look at what would have happened here. If you move your stop loss farther away here, you would have just got crushed with all sorts of extra drawdown. Just don't do it. Take the loss. Just take the loss. So this over here on your right, this is your control for your scientific experiment, if you will, and over here is your scientific experiment, I guess you could say. This is what you're possibly meddling with. You know, one of the most, so there's that, and then, you know, there's a discretionary element. If you were to choose, like I did last night, because I was tired, I took this trade right here, and I shut it down. It was like $250. The way that I had my risk managed, and I was like, that's cool. Over 5 accounts, that's so, like, after commissions, I don't know, it was like $1,000, like $1,100 or something over 5 PA accounts. Like, that's good enough for me. So maybe you wanted to, and then I saw how long this trade was in. I think I like ended up leaving the co-working space here in Bali, like right here. I was like, I'm not watching this anymore, and I just had the sim going after this, but I shut all my PA accounts after this first win. Because oftentimes if you see a big opening range like this, the trades are going to last a lot longer. A typical opening range is usually somewhere between 200 and 400. Anything over 400, it's a big one. It's a big day. So we can also disable the strategy up here. And let's clear all our drawing tools. And we're going to go over some other things here as well. Yeah, I don't care if this video is an hour. I just want to get everything that I would normally get done in a one-on-one meeting in this video. In my little private office here, it's getting a little hot because I didn't turn the air conditioner on first. But then it'd be loud, so I don't know. Whatever, I can handle it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. All right, so what should we go through now? Let's go through some settings. Let's go into strategies on our main trading chart. This would be our PA account here. Let's deselect backtest because we're about to trade it live. And let's Yeah, so this would be your PA. Make sure it matches on your chart trader over here. So what's the most important setting on this whole thing? Well, besides making sure that it's trading the right account, scroll down and you will soon see the most important setting that you're going to have to possibly touch every single day. That's position size, not max position size, position size. Think of this as if it's bold, highlighted in yellow, underlined, and got fireworks. You got a lot of settings here. But the one that you're probably going to need to touch most days is going to be position size. Right here, this is set for 2 micros. We're trading the micro chart. So this is 2 micros by default. Our opening range here, let's go through some other settings right here, but just remember position size. This is how many contracts each trade for this particular day will execute. It will always be 2 contracts on this particular day that you have it running with this setting. All right, so let's go back down. We can see that our opening range is divided into 4 sections. But right here, minimum and maximum range ticks. It needs a minimum of 100 ticks to start taking trades to get our green light, and a maximum of 750. If we have 751 ticks, we're not taking trades. We also don't trade this template on FOMC days or if Powell is talking at all. That doesn't necessarily even mean in the morning when he's not talking, but if he's going to talk later, if there's a statement release at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or he starts talking at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, or whatever, we still don't trade. Some people do, and you can. It's not going to be catastrophic as far as the backtest goes. I won't do it. I'm looking for every excuse not to trade, personally. I like to stay in the market as little time and have as little exposure as possible and maximize my profits and my time that way. But if you wanted to, you can. I don't necessarily recommend it. Totally up to you. So that's that on the FOMC stuff. Plus, we're not allowed to trade we're not going to trade. We're certainly not. Even if you say you trade the morning because the FOMC is until 2 o'clock or 2:30, absolutely under no circumstances let the strategy keep trading after 1:59, because it will trade. With this template, we can see our times. We start trading. This might as well say start trading instead of resume. So start trading at 10:30 a.m. and it will keep trading till 2:30. So if you let this thing go on FOMC days, you're going to be taking trades in the middle of a statement, in the middle of FOMC meeting minutes, or what might be happening at 2 o'clock there. So this strategy will trade from 10:30 to 2:30 p.m. If you're still in a trade after 2:30, so it's going to take its last trade at 2:29, I believe. And if that happens to be the case, or if you're still in a trade, it will auto close that trade at 2:45 p.m. Absolutely no circumstances will the strategy allow a trade to be open past 2:45. Auto close. Okay, so there's our times. And scrolling down, we don't need any of these settings. Again, this CSV, actually, this is our exclusion file. We already went over that, though. Let's keep going down to our other most important part, our exit settings. So our profit target and our stop loss are based off percentages of the deviation. Our stop loss is 200%, so that's 2 deviations. So we're splitting up their opening range into 4 deviations. Those are expanded all the way up, expanded all the way down. So 2 deviations, or 200% of 1, 2 deviations for our stop loss, and 201%, or basically 2 deviations for our target. If you wanted to use break-evens or anything like that, you absolutely can. I don't incorporate break-evens or auto trails into the backtest because NinjaTrader, data, something, whatever it might be, backtest does not play nice with break-evens, and it does not play nice with moving your stops all around with auto trails. But feel free to use them if you want in live trading. I don't really know if anybody that does. People probably do. I don't know what everybody does. I know what I do, and I don't. If I'm going to move my stop loss to break even because we're almost all the way to target, I'm just going to do it manually. You know, I don't use a trade copier. I would rather have multiple charts open. I'd rather trade 5 accounts, see everything that's going on with 5 separate charts so I can see every single order on every single account in case something goes wrong. Eventually something will not get filled. If you're trading 4 micros on 5 different accounts, one of those accounts might only fill 3 micros, and you might have a ghost order, kind of, I guess you could call it a ghost order, of one contract that just happened to not get filled because of whatever data feed that you happen to be on, Rhythmic or Trade-Evade or CQG or whatever, one of those didn't get filled, and I want to be able to go after that problem and easily fix it by seeing it on the chart. If that was the leader account that happened to be that one that didn't get filled, then all 5 of your follower accounts are also in error, and you got to fix all those. You got to open up different windows, and anyway, no need to really use a trade copier if you're using this automated strategy. Of course, you're going to need to use a trade copier if you're trading manually. How else are you going to trade 5 accounts and get the same exact entry price if you're trading things manually without a trade copier? I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? So if you wanted to use break even, you could check this break even. You could tell it after X amount of ticks right here. Say your target was 100 ticks. Then you could say after 90 ticks, I want to move my stop to break even plus 20 ticks to secure. You can also do it as percentage of the standard deviation. You could say we're looking for 201 tick, 201% targets. So we could say after 195% of one deviation, we could say, so this is inconsequential because we're not using ticks in this case, we're using the percentage. We could say 195% of 200%, and we want to secure 50 ticks out of that. So that would be with checking this break even box. If you wanted to trail, you could also trail. You could click this box and you could say, once we are in 50 ticks of profit, we want to trail by 5 ticks. So once you get to 60 ticks, then you'd be still trailing by 5 ticks, or you could say you want to trail it by 45 ticks or whatever you want. It basically operates the same as an ATM strategy. So, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep that box checked. So we'll scroll all the way back up. And just to reiterate, your position size of 2. Let's go over how we do our risk management. So let's go ahead and click backtest so we can see some stuff here, and enable, and OK. Let's look at the whole chart. Let's go ahead and maximize the whole thing for us. We can squeeze down the ADX because we barely never need to use it anymore. Let's go over a couple trades and how we do our risk management. So here is the bottom of the opening range. That's as low as the first 15 minutes of market action got. Here's the opening bell, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here is 15 minutes later at 9:45 when our opening range closes. So as high as it got is right here on this candle. This sets our levels for the whole day. Now we can use that fib tool again, F8 for F8 for all you folks. Click on the bottom, extrapolate this up just so it matches right about there. It's hard to get it perfect sometimes. But again, when you're trading live, it's going to make all these, it's going to plot all these lines for you. Okay. So we can see our opening range on this particular day was 528 ticks. Let's measure it. We're going to use our ruler tool here to here. It's probably not going to be exact. We can make it exact. 528. ORS doesn't mess around. It's right down there. So it is 528. There we go. So if your ruler tool shows up in points, you got to fix that. So here's how you get to the drawing tool. For ruler, you go to drawing tools, ruler right here on the top, and then you apply your ruler, and then you left click, get the dots to show up, right click, go to properties. Most likely yours, if it's default, is on currency. Switch it to ticks, go to template, save as default. Yes. Okay. So now every time you pull your ruler up, it'll probably be white. You can change the color of it if you want. So here's our full opening range, 528 ticks. Well, what's one deviation? One deviation is approximately 128 ticks. This is a big day. Yesterday's deviation was like 60 ticks or something. So this is almost twice as big of a day as yesterday. So let's get our calculator out and figure some stuff out. This is one of the coolest things about our strategy is our target smoothing, or we can call it risk smoothing, whatever you want. Let's go ahead and get a calculator out. So this is how we tell the strategy how many this is the theory behind how many contracts we're going to trade per day to try to get our risk for a 50K Apex account or a 50K Top Step account. I'm going for about $200 worth of risk per trade. Seems like it works pretty well. So we'll take 528 is our full distance of our opening range, right? 528. Whatever, it's 528. Back to our calculator. 528 divided by 4 sections. Let's see what a deviation is. A deviation today is, like I said, 132 ticks. But we're actually going for 2 deviations as our target, right? So we're going for 2. Here's our full target. Here's our entry. Here's our target. 1, 2 deviations. And here is our stop would be down here. 100%, 200%. Okay, so let's do that math then. So we'll go to our calculator. So if it's 132 ticks for 1 deviation, we need to go times 2. So a full target today we know is 264 ticks. Measure this. We can see 264 ticks. We're on that 264 because I'm getting sick of explaining how I'm not going to get things perfectly accurate because this is a video I'm making. So that same distance is where the stop is. And you can see it down here on this last trade that ended up being a loss. That was the same distance as a target, about 260 something. Yep. So 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, it's a thing of beauty. Our percentage of win is somewhere between 61 and 63%. That's damn good for the NASDAQ. We are perfectly stoked on that. Okay. So just backing up again, I really want to drill this into everybody's head. This particular day was 528 tick opening range. Divided by 4 sections is 132 ticks per deviation. But we're going for 2 deviations times 2, or you could say times 200%, but we'll just say times 2. So that means each target is 264 ticks. Well, we're using micros, NASDAQ micros. Each tick is worth 50 cents. So times 50 cents. Of course, you don't need to use the 0, but times 50 cents equals $132. Each trade would net you, each win is going to net $132. Each loss is $132 per contract, per micro. Now you can see here our default on our template is 2, position size 2. So that means that each trade, win or loss, is times 2, so $264. So on this particular day, you're either going to have to choose $125 or $264. You're not going to be able to get it right at 200. And this will happen. You're going to be somewhere between 150 and 250, or if it's a big day like this, you might have to go all the way up to 260. But maybe you don't want to risk the 260. Maybe you wanted to just risk the 1 contract, which is $132. So that's totally up to you. Let's do another example. But if you wanted to risk just the 1 micro, you would just click enable, apply, and then just make that 1 micro. And each trade on this particular day is going to be $130 or whatever it is. Now, let's say we had an opening range day that was a smaller day. Where's my calculator? Why did my calculator disappear? I must have exited out. So yesterday was, I think it was a 264 tick opening range. Divided by 4 sections, 66. Our target is twice that, times 2. 132 tick target, 132 tick stop, more or less, times 50 cents per contract, equals $66 per micro yesterday. Well, that doesn't seem like quite enough. That's not enough. I want to get closer to 200 times 4 micros. Let's see what that goes. $264. Maybe that's a little bit too much. So maybe you only want to do 3 micros. So you do 264 ticks was the full opening range. Divided by 4 is also an easier way to do this. You know, pretty easy now that we have a 1-to-1 risk reward on 2 deviations. If it was a 264 tick opening range, then you really just need to divide it by 2 equals times 50 cents equals $66. Maybe we only wanted to use 3 micros yesterday. That was $198, so almost right at 200. So that's how we do our risk management. I think we're getting close to being done now. It's 50 minutes. Okay, so let's go over a trade or two. We can actually go over a couple of these trades here. We're still on backtest. Let's check enable. Okay. All right, so let's squeeze down ADX. Don't really need that. All right, so let's figure out why this trade was executed. All right, so we need 3 basic things to enter a long. First thing is candles need to be closing above the HMA. This candle is, all these candles are closing above the HMA. So that's criteria 1. Criteria 2, we need the HMA to be white for sloping up. Criteria 3, we need to be in a green shaded zone. Obviously we can see that this is very lightly shaded green. This is shaded red, green, red, green. So we need 3 things. Closing above the EMA, EMA must be white, and we need to be in a buy zone. This is our ORS buy sell zone secret sauce indicator. All right, so those 3 criteria are met right when, let's delete these actually, right when this candle closes here. Soon as this candle closes, it's going to, the ORS automatically sees a white HMA, close above the HMA, and a green shaded zone in our time that we're allowed to trade. This dark red over here, this is what we're not allowed to trade. You have to be past 10:30 a.m. with this template to start trading. So we close here. As soon as this candle closes, all 3 criteria are met. Then ORS is going to automatically plot, or paste rather, submit is the word I'm looking for. I'm starting to get tired, burning out. Submit a buy order right here. Then we're going to wait for the price to pull back to that order. Because we use limit orders like this is why our backtesting is so ridiculously, amazingly freaking accurate, and why we love ORS backtest, because 99% of the trades and the days match our backtest. Every once in a while we get a fluke where it doesn't, but for the most part, I mean, it's so much better than market orders or any other kind of strategy that I've ever designed or used. Limit orders just like this, so much better. And then no break-evens in the strategy for the backtesting, and no auto trails either. Okay. So we're waiting. We got that limit order placed there with however many contracts we happen to be trading on that particular day. And bam, we get filled. Filled right here. And actually, I think it filled within this bar. It filled somewhere between here and here. Wherever this little arrow is, it's usually the candle behind that in real time actually got filled. So it probably got filled right around this time right here. But NinjaTrader plots it as right here. We can see this wick did indeed go through where our deviation entry line is. You can see I'm not quite lined up here. Now that I'm zoomed in like that. There we go. And we're looking for, so as soon as that order gets filled here, it's actually going to be filled 3 ticks up because we have a 3-tick offset. Let me show you what that is. So entry order offset ticks. So our order is going to be placed 3 ticks above, in this case, above that deviation line. If we're in a short, it's going to be placed 3 ticks below. It just happens to work better that way. And we'll click OK. So we're filled here. Our stop loss is 200% away. Stop loss. Way down here. Okay. And our target way up there. These freaking little drawing tools keep getting in my way. Okay. And we are filled, and we're moving along. Oh, almost got halfway to target, came back to break even. Good thing I didn't move anything to break even there, huh? And keep moving, keep going. Oh, we're getting closer to target, closer, closer, closer. And almost target filled. Jake's going to bed. With the top step, you only need to make $200 a day for 5 days before you can take 50% of those profits. It's pretty cool. So I'm learning about the top step. Been trading Apex for quite some time. But yeah, anyway. There we go. We hit target. Ink. And then we turn into a sell zone. See how this turned red here? It's a little hard to see. This is just the way the developer did it, and I'm not going to do anything to change it. It's just, a little hard to see. But pick the right background color for your eyes, and you'll be able to see the sell zone. So our sell zone starts here. Our HMA is still white. We're going to go over this one short and check this out. So right here, so we have the criteria met here. We are two of the three criteria are met. We're closing below the HMA here with this candle close right here. And we're in our sell zone, right? Sell zone here. But we still need the HMA to turn blue. Bam. It does that right here. So, because this candle is closed up here because it's a bull bar, that means our order is going to be placed right here. And let's see what happens. Oh, well, we don't get filled there. So ORS is going to automatically, because this next candle closes here, it's going to see that, and it's going to take our order and automatically move it down. And now we're going to be looking for a pullback to this line. And it gets filled. And we move along. We turn into a buy zone, but it's too late. We're already in. We're not going to close the trade just because we turned into a buy zone. Could be a false flag. And we're back into a sell zone. And we're buy and we're sell. Moving along, moving along, moving along. Moving along. It was a long trade last night. And there is the execution of the win right here. So our order was initially placed here on this line, and our stop was up here. So we needed to wait all this time here, and our stop was up here for this short. Yeah, we got kind of close to getting our stop hit, but not really. I mean, we're still 78 ticks away from getting our stop hit. Now, here's that area where, here's your top of your opening range right here. Here's your opening range. It's a big one. Now, I saw something like this right here, and I was like, oh, maybe you want to take it off with one target right here, or sorry, with one deviations, because it's not probably, but could be. Probability wise, we are going to reject off of here at least once, and it happens all the time. Then we came back here and we rejected off it again, but then we did ended up going to target. Look at that, right to the tick too, right to that next level down. Then we reject again, and then we finally do make that push down. So it was trying to get through there. And then we end up with a loss at the end of the day, but you could have easily taken these 2 wins and be done. After this long trade, you're really going to have the energy to sit in a trade, to try to trade. You were going to be greedy enough to take one more trade. Like, I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't, but some people do. Some people do that take all the trades are beating me. So who knows? Who knows which way is best? But 14:03, so 2 o'clock or so, this trade gets entered. And we know that we only have a half hour left in the template. And this trade just took, I don't know, a couple hours or something. So I don't know. Do you really want to take this last trade? Or can you just be happy with two $255 wins for $500 times 5, 6, 10 accounts or whatever it is for a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 day running on multiple accounts? Sweet. We're about at an hour right now. So there's a long for you, there's a short for you, there's the risk management, there's the install. And remember, if you are in a trade and you don't want it to take any more trades and not deactivate the strategy, just go ahead and turn the strategy off here. It will not take trades until you turn it back on, but it will not disable the strategy. If you want to disable the strategy, you have to disable it for real here. So now, not only is it not on, so it's like unplugging and plugging in a TV or turning the TV on and off. So, so this would be plugging the TV in. That's a pretty good analogy, I actually like that. So your TV's plugged in and it's turned on. Let's turn the TV off. It's still plugged in, but we're not seeing a picture. If we want to turn the TV on, now that it's plugged in, okay. Now, I like to think about at the end of the day, you know, people used to, I grew up feeling like I have to. My parents always told me, unplug your TV during a thunderstorm. So a thunderstorm is basically when I'm done trading, I'm saying it's a thunderstorm. I'm turning off or whatever. I'm going to close everything here. Everything's flat. I'm going to deselect enable here so it's completely unplugged from the wall. Then I'm also going to do a couple extra things too. I'm going to go into my positions tab. I'm going to right click in here. I'm going to make sure that flatten everything is grayed out. If it is, great. That means there's no ghost orders floating around anywhere that I don't know about. I'm also going to go under the orders tab. I'm going to right click in here and I'm going to cancel all orders. Because what if there's a phantom order that you didn't even realize? Maybe Rhythmic placed it. Who knows? Weird things happen. Rare, but it does happen. Or maybe you bumped something and you plotted a sell limit order that you forgot about or something. Shut it all down. You know. So go to your strategies. I like to even have it set up like this. I like to have it set up accounts, strategies, positions, orders. Go to your strategies, turn it off. Go to positions, right click, flatten everything if you can, if you have to, if you need to. Go to orders, right click, cancel all orders. Then disconnect. Then turn it off. Turn it off. Close it from here. Don't close the charts. Just close NinjaTrader here. And then when you open it back up, everything will be how it was. All right, that's 1 hour setup. I think I covered everything in the welcome letter and as far as strategy and execution of the trades. Covered a lot there. We are stoked to have you as part of the team. Jake from ORS signing out.